Okay, as we commence this session, and as we all know, this session, this breakout session 2, of course, has to do with leveraging technology for blended learning and assessment. Leveraging technology for blended learning and assessment. And in this session, we should not be surprised that we are going to be as practical as possible. We are also going to be able to have assessment with respect to this session. So don't be surprised, we are all going to be doing some form of examination. Let me call it test at the end of this, so that we can be as practicable as possible. Okay, so I have the honor and privilege to call upon our resource person, Mr. Segun Dina of the ICT unit, who will be taking us this evening. Can we all please jam our hands together as we welcome Mr. Segun Dina? Thank you very much. Mr. Segun, would you mind, can we bring the podium down so that at least you'll be close to us? Yes, don't worry, I will help you. You can come and take this. No, there is another one. There is a mobile one. Okay? But if you are okay with that, we are fine. Okay.
Thanks. Good afternoon. The erudite academics of this great institution, I'd like to welcome everyone to this session. Please permit me to rest on any existing protocols. You're all welcome. My name is Segun Dina from the Directorate of Information Technology of this great institution. I'm very delighted to talk about this topic, leveraging technology for blended learning and assessment in this breakout session. Now, the content of this presentation goes thus. Technology, we're going to remind ourselves what technology is, then how do we leverage technology, impact of technology on education, blended learning, technology for blended learning in ABWAD, then ABWAD, LMS, and assessment trends, or its composition. So quickly to technology, we don't have to start dividing. Everyone here, I believe, I'm in the midst of professionals in the field. So, but simply put, technology is the systemic application of scientific knowledge for practical purposes. And it's simply the advanced tools, I used to say that always, and systems that make users feel comfortable. So technology is about comfort. Any technology that doesn't bring comfort is not technology. So today, technology is rapidly evolving, like we all know. And in education, from 2020 upwards, we see that technology is paramount in the education system. And either we like it or not, the future of education relies much more on technology than we can think of. So, how do we leverage technology? Education is the most important sector for attaining sustainable development goals, the SDGs. And in this area, technology can play a very crucial role. It's already playing a very crucial role. In the traditional learning education system, there's restriction of time and space. And it burdens the learner. It gives the learner the burden to satisfy the learning environment. Now, digital technology provides an opportunity to meet these requirements of learning and to solve these barriers. So it's not surprising that today many schools are introducing technology in a big way in the education system. So, what is the impact of technology? If we are saying we need to leverage on technology, what are the impacts? And quickly, technology makes lives easier for the students. And Students now have access to software tools and different facilities to make their work easier and learning easier instead of using pen and paper. And also, it's easy to store information. Managing records is easier with a computer than having to manage hard copies. There's a digital classroom. Thanks to advance in technology, you can see your syllabus online and know what you're in for, even ahead of time. Then information is easily accessible. The internet search engines are a source of immense information to both students and teachers these days. We have the Google, Wikipedia, Google Scholar, and the likes. And more recently, we have the AI, which is also playing a very good part in what we are talking about. So, in essence, technology has removed time and space limitation in education. So, now, what is blended learning? Blended learning. I have an image here. I don't know, it's projected. It says, the fundamental purpose of school is learning, not teaching. So, please skip to the next slide, please. So, the interpretation of this picture to me is that the objective of schooling, going to school, is to learn. We should focus more on the objective of learning than teaching, because even teaching itself ought to result into learning. So the method of teaching we adopt in the school must result into meaningful learning. So what is blended learning? Simply put, blended learning is a combination of the traditional face-to-face class time with the conventional method, then combining with online learning. Next slide, please. Yeah. So, for example, somebody can take a course online and learn the basics of a topic, then attend the face-to-face or in-person training or seminar to directly engage with experts or the tutors. This can also be used in the educational sector. It gives us the flexibility of learning online as well as getting physical contact with trainers. So, if we're talking about blended learning, what have scholars in this aspect said about it? We have the likes of Garrison Gandin in the early days saying that blended learning uncovers transformative potentials in higher education. Next slide, please. And we have the like of, so we have the likes of Gurab saying that blended learning has aided effectiveness and student satisfaction. These are coming from their own experiences, and we have more and more of that. Even up to recent times, Peter Tuna says, as we step into 2024, the landscape for education continues to evolve, resembling a less dusty chalkboard and a more dynamic digital mirror. It's a very, very strong one. So, if you're talking about blended learning, we have models in blended learning, and some of the models we'll quickly run through. We have the face-to-face driver approach, whereby the students can get an hefty dose of physical education, but access materials online, as well as learning utilities. So with this model, it requires a little bit of the lecture time and energy, a little bit more, but it can be very effective in the present day, especially for the present day students who sometimes need more extrinsic motivation to learn. So we have the next model, which is the flipped model. It's structured around the idea that giving lecture directly is not the best use of class time. Now, instead, students can encounter information online before the class, and they can go through the materials. Then, when they come to class, it frees up the class time for activities that involve higher order of thinking, and it enables better interaction between students and teachers. And so just like the other model, the first model, it requires a little bit of the lecturer's energy, but it has the potential to increase the level of preparedness, and interaction among students. So the students are prepared before coming to class because they already have the materials online. And then we have the enriched virtual model. And this is the system that is being used in even Abuad ODL and other distance learning platforms. So it's great for self-motivated students that appreciate autonomous learning. They enjoy the balance between feeling supported by tutors or by lecturers without being hindered by the mandatory continuous live lectures or class set at a particular time and particular dates. We have many other models which we can run through, but these are the major ones that are very practicable, especially here in Nigeria. So, having said all this, does blended learning have any advantage? Yes. Blended learning, in terms of safety, it enhances safer learning, safer learning environments. I always remember the year 2020 that taught us how to practice safety measures and social distancing. Many schools have to adopt the use of online teaching method, and it's helped for that particular moment. Also, cost-effective. Teaching could be less expensive and could be delivered in a more affordable cost, and it saves time. Also, there is the flexibility. Blended learning enables the students to access materials from anywhere at any time while enjoying the benefit of face-to-face support and interaction with the lecturers. There are many other advantages of blended learning, but to save time, we have them here. So it could improve the quality of teaching and learning, because it's not just about learning online. Many people don't just like learning online. So they are not comfortable learning online without seeing the tutors physically or the lecturers physically. So blended learning gives you the advantage of both online and physical learning. So what are the disadvantages of blended learning? The advantages of blended learning are great, but are there any disadvantages? Not really, and general, but at least it's not something that can hinder us in the path to setting it up. But there's a hurdle as technology. Technology is constantly evolving, and sometimes it is hard to handle. So for people that are not as tech savvy as required, it may take longer for them to fully benefit from the material you are putting in front of them. So that's the major red flag or the major disadvantage of blended learning. Now, we're talking about the technology now for blended learning in Abuad. This is the next topic. Majorly, we use the LMS in Abuad. The systems that allow creation, management of courses, and evaluation of students' performance. And we all know what LMS is. We don't need to talk too much about the LMS here, but we're just saying that it's a tool that we majorly use in Abuad. So in the next slide, we have the Abuad LMS and assessment trends. What have we done and where are we transiting to? What does our learning, online learning compose of? This is what we are going to look at here. So we have the Claro line. Initially, we started with Claro line for LMS in Abuad. But it seemed too difficult for some people, not some people, some for actors, lecturers and students to adopt. And also integration to newly existing system was a problem. So that's why we decided to have our custom-made LMS, which is the AB Instructor, which is currently in place. Then we have the module. We have the module which we are transiting to. I have been informed that we are going to transit into Moodle next session. And it's an online platform designated to create opportunities for rich interaction between teachers and students. And apart from that, the other technologies we have the CBT system, that's the examination systems, which is currently in use. We have the smart course registration, and we have the result computation system. So we'll quickly run through some of these. The AB instructor, which is current LMS, the link to it, direct link to it is what we have on the screen, portal.aba.edu.ng/lecturer. Then you can also access it via the student portal. The link to the lecturer sign-in is right there. The button is right there on the student portal too, portal.aba.edu.ng. So you can sign in with your ABAD email, and on the first use, it asks you to select your courses. Next slide, please. First use, next slide. It asks you to select your courses, and it's very, very simple. You click on OK, you select your courses, then you come to this screen with all these things on the menu. On the menu, we have My Courses, Manage Exam, Manage Assignment, Virtual Classroom, Manage Results, Google Services, Account Settings. So all these have their own use. We can't go into them right now because of time. Then after doing that, you have the next slide, please. You have the next slide again. We have the course dashboard where you can view the courses that has been assigned, and you can set up those courses. So next slide, setting up those courses is easy. You click on one of the courses to set up. It comes to this home page. We have the course content, course description. You can click on those to set them individually. So it's very easy to use, and we can give assignment to students online, retrieve assignments, and either in text format, document format. It supports media and text. So that's basically about the current LMS. Then we have the smart registration. So for the smart registration, students go online to register our course forms. As requested, we have the automatic registration of carryover. That means when the student has a carryover in a particular semester, next semester you're trying to register, the system automatically registers that course for you, since it is part of the university's decision that carryover has to be registered before the current courses. So when student registers, we have the process of approval that goes through the level advisor, HOD, the provost. Then after that, on the lecturer side now, this screen we are looking at is where the students and the lecturer can view the registration list of students. And from there, we can also approve. We are all familiar with, many of us are familiar with the platform, so I won't go in depth into all those. So now we go to Moodle. So I said earlier that we are transiting into Moodle. Why are we considering Moodle right now? Because of its wide range of features. Moodle is very robust, and also it's more customizable than the likes of Blackboard, Canvas, Docebo, and the likes. It's much more customizable. Then it has a wider developer community. So that's the reason we're going for Moodle now. So what is Moodle? Modular Object-Oriented Dynamic Learning Environment. That's the acronym. And it's an online platform that provides a wide range of features that educators use to manage most aspects of learning. So it has a lot of features, but some of them are shown here. It has a whole lot of features than what we have here. So it has a lesson where the lecturer can deliver content and practice activities in flexible ways. It has the quiz. Lecturer can give quizzes including multiple choice and the likes, and you can get the results. That's the book where the lecturer can create a multi-page resource in a book format with chapters and subchapters. So this particular module contains media files as well. It can contain video, audio, any type, and text. So we have the assignments where the lecturers can give assignments to students. We have forum that enables all participants, both lecturers, students, to interact, have discussions, and it can take discussions that can take place over a long period of time. So we have the survey. The lecturer can give survey to the students to know what their opinions about the class and how they feel that it could be better. Then we have external tools. There's linked to external tools. Students can interact with learning resources and activities on other major websites. We have the glossaries where participants can create a list of definitions, a dictionary, or to collect and organize resources of information. So it's a very, very robust learning platform that we are looking forward to use. So before the end of the year, we are already planning a serious training session, not a talk, a training session, a practical training session on Moodle, and it's going to be on college basis with a very good schedule to favor participants. So now we have Google for Education too. The school is looking at partnering with Google for this particular package, which is Google for Education. The set of Google products and services that are designed for educational institutions. So it has a wide range of resources, and it's very useful in teaching. So it has the Google Workspace. Some of these resources are some lecturers already use some of these resources. Like the Google Workspace is like the major module of the Google for Education. And we have, even Gmail, we have some of these on an individual basis. Then we have the Google Classroom, the Google Meet, the Google Drive. Then it has very good security features. Then collaboration and community is very large when we talk about this platform. So that is why this school is looking forward to it, and also opportunity for grants from them. So what are the advantages of this Google for Education? Just like I said, security features is very good. They have very good security features, and additional storage. Your Gmail, if you don't have any suspicion, you have, I think, 15 gigabytes maximum on Gmail. Now, if the school subscribes to this particular platform, we have larger amounts of storage by default. Because the school is on the platform, then you can have a very, very large amount of storage than that. Then we have collaboration tools, just like I said earlier, administrative controls. Your Gmail, now, just like your Gmail, if you forget your password, you don't call anybody to recover your password for you. You have to figure out a way. Either you have a number or an alternative email or a means of recovering your password. That's just an example. But if you look at Abwad email now, if you forget your password, you can still call the ICT and say, please help me to reset my password. I forgot my password. So this comes with administrative ability, administrative control. So we can allow educational institutions to manage user accounts, permission settings, and different things can be done with Google for Education. Then technical support, they have a top-notch technical support. There's access to dedicated technical support from Google. So from that, we move to the computer-based testing system, which many of us are familiar to. It's a technology employed to enhance blended learning. So the CBT we have been doing is also an example of the blended learning. learning takes place in the class, and for some courses, the examination is done through the computer. So the CBT was also designed to reduce costs and minimize manual paper, designed to eliminate errors, especially in multiple choice questions. Then result processing time is drastically reduced, and it prepares learner for the future and to experience the 21st century learning. Now, the CBT has its own requirement. The most suitable browser is the Google Chrome, and the home page to the CBT is cbt.abuad.edu.ng. Next slide, please. cbt.abuad.edu.ng is the home page to the CBT. Then the login information, your email is the login, is the username, and password is as generated by the administrator. But it's usually 1 to 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And from there, next slide, please, you can set up modules, you can set up topics, you can set up questions and answers. So from here, we are going to smart course registration. We are implementing a smart course registration in Abuad, whereby the students will register, and the student does not have to take the course form to lecturers to sign one by one. So the students go online to register for their courses. It is to be approved by the level advisor, the HOD, and the provost. And we also have the additional units approval too. Students, the maximum units approved is 32 for students, and anyone that wants to go above that has to apply for additional units, and we have a digital way of doing that seamlessly. And also, okay, I've talked about the course form approval and the automatic registration of outstanding courses. So that's the summary of the smart course form. So we have the lecturer's dashboard, where staff are supposed to log in. So if you log in, you have to log in with your email. If you log into this platform, I'm sorry I didn't put up the URL to hit, but it is dashboard.abuad.edu.ng. You'll sign in with your email, Google sign in. So if you log into this platform and you are only seeing human resources is there because everybody is an Abuad staff, so you have a link to human resources. So if you are only seeing human resources and you don't have any of these roles, that means the role has not been assigned to you. And the ways the roles are assigned is such that the provost assign the HODs assign the departmental exam officer and the level advisors. So if you're logging in here, you are not seeing anything, that means you have not been assigned. So from there, we'll go to the results management system. It's a system designed to manage and store and process results with data efficiency. And many of us are getting used to it right now, but it has some requirements. In case of people that have issues with it, we have the data requirements. Accurate details is important. For the RMS to work properly, we have to ensure that the course codes are correct, course titles are correct, units and course type. All these things are very vital for us to have an effective system. Also, appropriate course registration by students. Students have to register. In a situation whereby we are in second semester and first semester is being, result is being computed, and students are trying to register for first semester that the exam has been written and the result is being computed, it's not going to work. So students have to register appropriately, register their courses appropriately. I think we need to advise the students more to actually make sure that's why there's a printout after you register. You cannot say you forget a particular course. When you're supposed to register for 9 courses, you register for 8 courses. Then after a semester, or when result is being computed, you say you forget to register 1 or 2 courses. There are some that forget to register 3 courses out of 8. A student taking 8 courses forgot, in quotes, to register 3 courses. So students are to be advised to do their registration properly so that there won't be problems when resource computation is ongoing. Also, correct staff data on the HR platform. Some don't have their data on the HR platform. Some have not filled their data. Some names are not correct, and there are other issues. So all these things needs to be resolved for us to have a good working platform. Also, we have the user requirements. Students must register appropriately and ensure that they have accurate details. That's also the correct names, correct passports, and the likes on their portal. So we also have course coordinators. Now, this section is user requirements slash roles. So I'm talking about the users and the roles they play. So students are responsible for registering their courses. Nobody is responsible for doing that. For them. Then course coordinators are to upload results correctly. Then exam officers are to ensure that the result for the department, all the results for all the courses expected are uploaded, and they download the spreadsheet for it, the broadsheet. Then HODs are to ensure course registration by students before approval. Now, the reason why level advisors are not brought here is because level advisors are not involved in result computation. But we are also sure that the course registration goes to the HOD too, before it goes to the provost. So HODs are also to ensure accurate, and also the level advisors are responsible to the HOD, so they should ensure accurate course registration by students before approval. HODs are to assign program exam officer as well as course coordinator for each course. And the HOD is responsible for verifying the correctness of results before approving. And the HOD is supposed to oversee the whole process. Then the provost also has to ensure correct registration. Provost is to assign HOD and college exam officers, verify the results, and oversee the results in general. So, in summary, what have we discussed here? We've talked about technology and how to leverage technology in learning, and impact. What impact is technology having on education right now? Then we have talked about blended learning, what blended learning is, and the technology we use in blended learning in ABUAD. And we have talked about some of this platform we will have in place. So thank you very much. This is the end of the presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.
Well, a very warm round of applause once again for our distinguished speaker this evening. Thank you very much, Mr. Shagundina, for that wonderful presentation. On this note, we can go to the Q&A session. I haven't listened very well to our speaker this afternoon on a blended learning and assessment. So I do believe that we have some questions with respect to what has been presented to us, possibly in the areas of adopting these technologies to enhancing teaching outcome, which obviously is a learning. So maybe we have some questions, we have some contributions to make, or possibly, if there is anyone amidst us who wants to possibly, also share, a practical experience of, okay, yes, what you adopt in your own class, which may be very good for us. I think we are also going to welcome that. Thank you very much. So, can we take questions, contributions? Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Professor.
It's working, it's working. Hello, sound check. Hello.
Yeah. Okay, I think it's working. So as I was saying, good afternoon, professors, doctors, senior colleagues. I also saw some students. I think we're the representative student union. So first of all, thank you for, I think, a very wonderful and insightful presentation. It's more like a addition, not a question. A suggestion, addition. So it's going back to your Google for education. Okay, the slide, no need to show the slide, but basically how we can use Google for education. Because I joined very recently, and I was involved in a maybe general course where we compute our results. And you see, the beauty about this Google is that is the collaboration part, to be very specific, very, very interesting and key in two areas, one of which is result computation. You see, you can be working on let's say general courses. You can be recording a department. We have the result recording processes by department. So somebody in civil can be recording the results for civil, and somebody in mechanical can be. I don't. Some of you also use it, but I think there's a gap. Some of you also don't know about. You have to have one of you can be the coordinator, or maybe the most busiest, seemingly busiest person in the group, compute all the results. But that's very, very a waste time. So what this Google does is that 2-3 people logged in the same system, the same account can be registering results for the department, and you can save more than I would say 99% of the time. Because you can't compare it to the time it will take if somebody puts it in a flash drive and have it to one person. You're going to waste time, and I think the school doesn't allow us to a lot of time in computing this result. So I think it's very key. And secondly, just to round up, because I think I'm wasting too much time, is research. I don't have a lot of research output, but I know during my undergraduate days, I made use of this Google for research. So the same way you can have the Google Sheets, you and your friend, you and your colleague can be inputting. Both of you, 3 of you, 5 of you, as much as 100. I don't know the limits, sorry. I think as much as 100 of you, or I saw research of recent where there were like 20 agencies collaborating. So as much as 20 of you can be in the same sheet and be putting your section, your input into the particular research. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much for that wonderful contribution. Can we take more questions? Contribution, yes, sir. Mr. Shogun, you may please wish to note this. I also have a question. Maybe I just quickly take that while I hand over the mic to my distinguished colleague here. The question, sir, is this, so that you're going to have to respond to that. Now, for those of us in physical sciences, and I also do know that this also applies to engineering. Well, most of the time when we teach, you want to represent three-dimensional phenomenon on a 2D board, whether electronic board or just the non-digital board. Now, and most times, you know, this 3D phenomenon, of course, is not so very easy explaining to students, especially when it comes to, you know, abstract phenomenon. So what are the technologies that you can leverage on, you know, that can help, you know, to be able to at least simplify as much as possible, you know, stuffs like that? I don't know, maybe some of our colleagues will be able to add to that. I do know many will also have encountered such things. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Your question, sir.
Once again, good afternoon, distinguished professors and colleagues. I have 2 questions. The first one is one of the aspects of this blended learning is that there will be access to online libraries. So I discovered that I've tried to get access. So I'm fairly new in Abuad, so I've tried to get access to the online library of Abuad. I've been to my college library and I've not yet succeeded. So I don't know, I know that there are some public ones, but the books I need, they are not on those public and free libraries. So, but I believe that it is possible for the school to subscribe to standard libraries such that one can get access to standard and current books online. So I don't know whether the problem is with the library or with the ICT. So I would like you to look into it and let me know how I can move forward. The other one is, in my own profession, we need a lot of software for simulation. So they are very expensive, but there is a way that within the school and companies who produce this software, there can be collaboration, and they will give you institutional license. And some of it is highly subsidized, some of it is free. So I don't know whether the ICT is working. So I just wanted to bring it to the awareness of the ICT, if they don't know already, that there are softwares that are peculiar to my field, which is petroleum engineering. There is what is called Eclipse. There is a petrol. There are many of them. So, but the licenses are expensive, but those guys can collaborate with the school to give institution-based license, which can be subsidized or which can become made free. There's also some that are called education licenses. Some of them can be free. So I don't know whether ICTs are aware of that. And if they are, please, what are you doing so that you can get those licenses? Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Sorry, Mr. Dino, are you please noting the questions? I don't want it to be too much before you respond. So maybe we just take can we take a response for the two, or we take one more? Maybe we just take 3 questions, then
let's take
respond.
one more. Let's take one more, sir.
Okay, let us take one. He said we should take one more. One more. Okay, Prof, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Sorry, since this will be a bit specific about how we run this system, both the student registration platform and all that. I notice some students, when they have issues with their portal, as the department, we don't have access to their portal. When they have problem, it is the ICT that should solve it. But most often, the student will come back and say the ICT said they should go and meet the HOD. Sometimes I look at that as like being evasive of solving that problem. Because, for example, a student says, okay, when he was on IT 400 level, he couldn't register his IT during that time. Now, that 400 has gone. This is a new session. So he has no opportunity now. The student wants to register. Okay, fine. The best the department can do is to say, write to the vice chancellor. The student wrote. And it went through the whole process, and the vice chancellor signed everything. Only for the student, all the students to come back and say they were directed from the ICT that they should go and meet their HOD. So what should I do? There's nothing I can do in that scenario. That's number 1 question. Number 2, and that extends to other issues too. When they are having issue on their portal that has nothing to do with the department or the college at all, that is the ICT. So sending them to the department, I see it like just trying to say, you just go and solve your problem. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, a situation whereby there's a need to assign role to some of our staff. And you could not find the ID, the name, and everything of the staff on that portal. So it has become an issue whereby there is no way that role can be assigned to that staff. I still have that problem at the moment. So all these things, I think the ICT should try to explain how it could be solved. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, Mr. Shagundina, can we have your responses to those 3 questions? Then we'll take another 3.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sas. Let me start from the last question. Issues with the portal and the ICT saying, go and meet your HOD or go to your college. Okay, so I think what we need to understand is that the ICT is not necessarily the administrator of a system. ICT provides the platform. Administrators are supposed to use it. There are some issues that ICT cannot solve. ICT cannot solve. Now, if a student comes to the ICT and says, I have a carryover, it's showing as carryover in my results, and probably it has even automatically registered for the student, and the student comes to ICT. Now, that is not an ICT issue, because the carryover that automatically registered in the student result, on the student portal, is coming from the result which was produced by the department. So if in the remarks, the student has a set of carryovers, either through or not through, either mistake or not, whatever the case may be, it is showing there as an outstanding course. The system picks it and forces the student to register it. Now, if you want to undo that, you can't just come to the ICT and say, I have passed the course, and ICT will remove it. ICT will direct you to your department. If you have passed the course, if the results have been corrected, because sometimes the results are corrected, maybe it doesn't get to ICT on time, or it never gets to ICT in some occasions, then we are not the custodians of results per se, and we don't produce the results. We just display the results to the students. Now, apart from the RMS, the previous system of computation, which is still current anyway, for some set of students, is such that once it goes to Senate, it comes to ICT from the exams and records office, and we upload. We don't vet either the students. Actually, there are some courses whereby the student has 50C, or let's say 60B, and in the remarks it's showing as carryover, as standing. It's not ICT's fault that is showing that, and it's not ICT's problem to resolve, because we don't edit result at all. We don't, if a simple comma we don't remove from the result, as it comes we upload and put it there. Now, if a student is having that issue, we ask the student to go to the department, get a note that, okay, you are not having carryover in this course. Then there was an issue with pharmacy last session where they do receipt. The students has done receipt, but it's still showing as outstanding on their portal. ICT cannot just go and remove something from student portal because we have access to. So we need instruction from the department. It's a way of us still giving back the control to you, that you can't just go to there and do something and resolve people's problem without knowing the source. So we send the students back to the department. On the issue of previous, I forgot to register one last session, and that we all know that a system is in place for registering courses right now, which is the e-registration system. On the system, there's no provision for registering last session courses, not even for this session courses. The system was designed based on the CPPD's instruction, and that's how it is. Now, if a lecturer logs in to the portal, if a student is even allowed to register, say an engineering student that forgot to register last session, if we allow the student to register, when you as level advisor get to the platform, you won't see last session courses. You won't see last session registration. You only see this session registration. So what's the point of registering? Because at the end of the day, student cannot still print out the course form. It's still not valid if it's not approved by the relevant authorities. So in that case, there's nothing we too can do. We send them back to the college. The college is the CPPD, the Senate, comprises of the people in the college. Decision makers are in the college. So if there's an issue like that, let them make a decision on how it's to be done, then pass it to the ICT. The ICT cannot on its own. So that means if it's possible, that means any student I like, especially I just call to me and say, okay, you have not registered for 10 sessions, so yeah, let me register you now. I will allow you because I'm in ICT, which is not supposed to be. So that's why, some of the reasons why we send them back to the college. If a student, we have students that have complaints in results that and we'll check what we have. That's what was sent from the department. We can't solve that student's problem. We have to refer the student back to the department. So that's the reason for that. Then, issue of assigning roles on the RMS. Fine, I understand there are such issues, but all these systems are all linked together. The HR system abhors the details of staff. Now, if a staff is not on the HR or has not completed the profile on the HR platform, it will be hard to assign such staff on the RMS. And that's why in my presentation, it was part of the requirements. This is part of the user requirements that staff details must be correct on the HR. So that's why we have that. Then the issue of the public libraries not offering the content or the resources that we want. Okay, that's an issue too. But I would not place the blame to the library or to anywhere. But that's part of the reason why the university is making collaborations now. Some of these platforms, Moodle, Google for Education, they have these resources if you subscribe to them. Now, if the university is subscribed to some of these platforms, we get these things. Now, we can't have subscription with Google now and not have full access to things like Google Scholar and everything related to Google. So that's why the university is trying to partner with some companies right now in order to be able to do that. Then also the responsibility also lies on the library too. I don't know the library work. Now, technology on the technical side, we provide the technical support, we provide the implementation, but the concept or the initiatives have to come from where it's supposed to come from. I don't know the relevant, I know some, but I don't know the relevant libraries to all courses. But librarians know that. So that's about that. Then collaborating with institutions, companies, in order to gain access to free licenses and all that. That's part of what we're doing with Google right now. And many are also coming. There have been some collaborations that didn't work out, actually. There was an attempt to collaborate with Turnitin at a particular point, and but it didn't work. So it's not like attempts are not being made, but some of these have not worked out. And just like you pointed out, I noted it right here. It's an area where we would also work on more. Now that has been it's been noted, so we'll work more on that. But it's not like there haven't been attempts to have these collaborations. So then the how to leverage on technology, what can we do in the case of making presentation to students, and the technology, leveraging on technology to simplify teaching to students. Just like Dr. Yinka said, yes, it is important. But just there are requirements. If you want to project a 3D, it has requirements. If you want to project multidimensional, it has requirements. If the facilities are not, that's the essence of web and online facilities. All these things are incorporated. Now, if I don't have a media player on my computer, or I don't have a media player on my phone, if I go to the website, I use Chrome, I can access media, I can access videos through the browser, I can access audio through the browser. So e-learning comes with most of these things. Using e-learning, all these things are embedded. All these systems, most of these systems are embedded in e-learning. And now, e-learning platforms are focusing more on media, because generally worldwide, students are more attracted to media. So platforms are really, really focusing on enhancing their media ability. right now. All these things are solvable by web applications. So when we start using the Moodle, I believe that we'll see insights into some of these things. It's a very, very rich, so the ODL is using it right now, and they are using it effectively. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, I think we can take another 3 questions. I will start from our erudite professor, Professor Joe Dada.
Thank you very much. Once again, let me thank the presenter for the wonderful presentation. And there are some issues or some comments I would like to make or suggestion that can actually help the ICT. That came to my mind immediately. My HOD asked some questions. I think it's the right time now for the ICT to create a tracking system, issue tracking systems. That will be web-based. You are talking about web-based. You can create an issue tracking system that all the students that are having complaints, lecturers that are having complaint issues with exam processing and so on and so forth, all they need to do is to enter the problem. And you see that automatically in your office so that you assign people to tackle each of those issues. That will help a lot, especially when we are going towards computerizations of all the results and the registration and so on and so forth. So I think the high time the ICT look to that, the better. That will solve a lot of this problem. Well, the other area which I want to talk about is the issue of the software, which my colleague just made mention. The simple software like Word, Facility, Microsoft Word, and similar software like that should be able to be purchased or to be put into the system, the ICT system, where individual staff that are interested can easily download and install on their system. Many of the staff are using their the laptop and using hacking software, hacking this. We're able to do ordinary scanning, PDF, Adobe PDF scanning that will enable you to be able to even number and so on and so forth. We don't have that. So they need to hack. This type of software should be put into a place, in a store, where people can easily download and be in a system that even the system is even some of the software I'm using up to today that I downloaded freely. Even the operating system, everything, you just download and bring it to your laptop. I know it's going to take time. I know it's going to involve cost and so on and so forth, but you can do it. There is no doubt that we cannot do it. The other thing that I want to bring the attention of the ICT to is the issue of the internet itself. Okay? We are talking about web-based. If you don't have internet access, how are you going to access the internet, the web-based? How are you going to? Many of my colleagues, many of my staff, my HOD exam, I know where the effort they put into before he was able to get the result entered into the system, because the internet access is not there. We should be able to, by now, bring a proper, increase our internet capability. I think I know maybe probably that is what the collaboration between Abuad and the Google, but the earlier we look into this, the better for the system, so that we are talking about web application, and we don't have the internet to access that. Then there is a big problem. So this area needs to be looked into. I think those people putting up the rapporteur will be able to put all these things together so that you can present it to the management for appropriate action. The issue of Turnitin is also there. We have been on it for long. This is very, very important. There was a time some people also came from outside and even relying on Abua to provide the access to for Turnitin for them. Unfortunately, at that time, but I think there is something in the pipeline that a model that is being worked out that maybe is going to help solve the problem at the end of the day. All these things are basic things that we feel that the system should be able to put in place, the ICT, the software, we are talking about the software that can be even be put there, that can access, you can access through web. Okay, you have, just like Dr. Ajiboye was saying, this software, if they are there, they can easily generate the 3D. They can generate so many things. I even made the class very interactive. Apart from using Moodle, you can be in your class and with a projector and project all this and start playing, ask the student to do this and start instructing them. If the proper facilities and on ground, I think ABUAD should be try to prepare to move towards that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for those contributions. Minister Okwe, please.
Also mention something. Now we are in the era of AI for our students. Please, I want to re-emphasize, Turnitin is really important. Assignments, seminar, don't look at it as from the lecturer's point of view. Our students really cannot even check what they submit. For people that even have, they're actually using other institutions' Turnitin. It's high time ABUAD got their own Turnitin. AIs give seminar. You will see students coming to submit from head to toe. You cannot verify. We have postgraduate students. We have our students research that we cannot verify. It's high time. That one has to work now. Please, before the next pedagogy, I pray that library and ICT will be able to bring out something with this Turnitin. We cannot continue like this again. This AI thing has come up with the fact that they will give you assignment seminars, well written, and it's not from them, which is not allowed. Thank you very much.
Okay, that's another contribution. Maybe we'll take one more. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please permit me to stand on existing protocol. I'm Imade Princess Okokpuje. Mine is not actually a contribution, but I want to ask a simple question. Is that I think ABUAD, for us to be a world-class institution, we must know there are some things to put in place. Like in terms of when we finish our exams, we mark, we will submit our results. And the exam officers will be manually, with Arapsis or whatever they call it, to work with our results. The world is moving into Industrial 5.0. We are still in 2.0. Please, I think the ICT should come up with a situation whereby the module or the website will be well developed, that every lecturer in Afe Babalola University, after you finish marking, all you need to do is to print an add copy, one copy to your HOD for him to peruse through so that all those 59 can become B, 69 can become A. And when it's approved the result on that hard copy, you go straight forward to your office and you upload your results. And as soon as you upload your result, the institution will request you to print a confirmation PDF that you have uploaded your result to the portal, to the system. Not you submitting your result to one person who is lecturing 6 courses, doing different kind of things, to not be manually doing our results. Please, I think such thing should come up. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for that wonderful feedback. Now we have a feedback on plagiarism checker, that's the Turnitin. We have another feedback with respect to the result computation software, the modality. Mr. Dino, I hope you are noting that all those are feedback and also the one taken by Prof. I don't know if you want to speak to that, yes, or we'll take some questions. Okay, thank you very much.
Respond to that. Yes, thank you, Ma. Actually, I understand the issue with RFCs, and it has been a tedious task of producing results. And that's why we have the RMS now, which is supposed to simplify this process. But there's some students whose results have already been computed on RFCs. Now, we all know how result works. You cannot take 300 level results and take it to another platform and start computing. If you want to compute a 300 level result right now, you have to take the student result from 100 level up to 300 level because it is cumulative. So you can't just take the results, and so that means if we are going to use the RMS to compute results for higher levels, results have to be entered from, if somebody, the students in 500 level, their 100 results have to be entered from 100 level up to 500 level. So that's why RFCs is still being maintained to phase out those particular sets, 300 level and above. Now for 100 level and 200 level, the result is being produced on the RMS, which is not as tedious, I believe, as RFCs. So I understand your concern, and it is being resolved currently, Ma. Then, Okay. 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 Can
download all the registered students. When you have downloaded, you create an Excel table where you have the list of all the students. They are there, and all the things that the lecturer need to do is to now upload that Excel table into the RMS. The system should be able to pick the matric number of individual student as a unique identifier and now put and check whether this is the score for this student, this is this. If it's not the score for this student, you throw it away so that you can now handle that later. But I know the genesis of that, what led to that last year, because of the issues of laziness of some lecturers. And in the process of doing that, they are now entering, putting the score of Dada to score of Onibonje, and score of Onibonje to score of Oyebode. That was all led to this issue. And eventually they had to
Okay, sir. Yeah, yes, sir. Okay. 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 Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. Now, I'm very glad that you are part of the CPPD. Now, if you remember, when we took the initial design of the system, it's just like you said it. When we designed the system initially, you're supposed to download list of students that register for your courses, input the score, and upload at once. And that's how the system worked. The decision to change it into typing into it one by one was made by the CPPD, not by ICT. Now, we have to understand that ICT does not control the process. We only implement instructions. So, as you have given us some advice about some things, I've noted it down. We take instructions, we take advices, and implement, but we don't control how it must be done. So, initially, it was designed for upload, and the CPPD specified that it should be done that way, and we don't have any option but to do that. We are a service department. We render services. So that's why that is. Then, okay.
Thank you for your beautiful presentation, Mr. Shegun.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to chip this one in. Still on the result system, there was one result system that we used, and it's highly frustrating. You call result one by one, like you said. I was calling for my colleague. Imagine you are dealing with 100 level students, how many they are, and at the end of the day, by evening, everything disappeared. You understand such a scenario? So it's highly frustrating. Something has to be done about it. And that uploading one by one, like you said, is really, really tasking. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sorry, Mr. Dina. Please, I want to crave the indulgence of all our distinguished colleagues. I do not want us to diverge away from the purpose of this meeting. It is all about, blended learning. How do we ensure that we bring in technology, into that? So although we're also talking about assessment, I understand. So it is important. It is important that we do not get carried away. It is very, very, very important. But let me quickly say this. please permit me, I crave your indulgence to please say this. I think all of the concerns that has been raised there with respect to the new result processing software that we call the RMS, all of that were actually duly noted in the course of the last CPDD meeting and also the Senate meeting. And I think to also continuously improve on the system, there has to be a committee which comprises of all examination officers who are actually doing this work, especially at college level, you know, for them to be able to give continuous feedback to the ICT to be able to improve on the system. So most sincerely, of course, I'm in a position to be able to give feedback to this body that those concerns have actually been raised before now, and the ICT is actually working on that. In fact, before the completion of the just concluded result presentation at Senate, it was raised at CPDD, and the officer in charge at the ICT was actually mandated. This concern was raised that, oh, we don't want that trouble of our examination officers to be entering one after the other and one after the other. That, okay, for example, you want to enter the score for 1,400 students, enter it once, and then, you know, save once, and then upload just once. And well, they said, okay, what they are going to do to that, you know, to be able to achieve that is to now ensure that they now incorporate an auto-save mechanism into that software, such that as you are inputting it, it is saving automatically by itself. I can tell you that as we speak right now, that has already been done. I can tell you that, you know, but let us just take questions and feedback with respect to what we have heard, how we can improve on our. In fact, one question that I would have loved to ask, Mr. Dina, please. This boils down to our CA, computation of CA, continuous, we call it continuous assessment. Now, it is also very easy, for example, for those who manage, you know, large classes, class of, you know, 500 students, 400 students. In fact, we have classes of 1,000 students in Afro Abala University. You know that very well, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, how do you ensure that you get, you know, the assessment of students in a continuous manner, such that, for example, you get to class today, you can easily deploy an IT tool to be able to do your assessment almost immediately and get your result almost immediately, and such that the result is uploaded almost immediately automatically to the portal, and at the end of the day it will compute the entire CA score at the end of the day, you know, for all of the students, such that all you have to do is thereafter just conduct exam, and then you upload your result and it computes everything automatically. Is that not a possibility?
Yes, it's a possibility, and it's something that is actually available on Moodle, just like I said.
It is on Moodle?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
I said Moodle. On Moodle has that facility. And also, please, to respond to plagiarism and AI, in terms of AI, we all know that if they give you an assignment, you just use an AI platform, put in the assignment, it gives you the results fast. Now, that is also solvable by Google Classroom. That Google has its AI tool. So when you're submitting an assignment, automatically, you don't even have to launch it. Automatically it's scanning and it's telling the lecturer the percentage of plagiarism in it. So Google Classroom can do that for us. And very quickly, the Provost of Engineering, Professor Dada, said some things. Thank you very much, sir. We are grateful, sir. Professor Dada, thank you very much, sir. About the things you commented about, we are grateful. You have always been trying to give us ideas on what to do and how we can go about it. Some of the things you said actually were available in ABUAD before. I remember a time where we had a server in the server room where we have some of these items. We even had a video. We had a video or movie. We have a movie industry software, so that students don't need to use data. We download the data. That time we were trying to manage the data, the bandwidth we had. So we download the latest movies by ourselves. The students log in. They log in and they access it on LAN, not online. So they can watch those movies without having to access those movies online. We had all this software then, but they were not used. The ones that was used were the movie ones by students. Most of this software were not used, but now that you have said it, we are going to implement this again. Then internet access, we would know that Abuad is increasing. Population of Abuad is increasing more than it was 5 years ago. And the truth is that the data subscription we have, the statistics of that is last year is still what we have now. What it has 3 years ago is still what we have now. So we may have all these little challenges. Just like you said, Google package comes with some of solutions to this too. Then the local area network may have to be checked. For some people, it's not the internet that has problem. It's having to connect to the local area network first before you access internet. Some offices don't have that, so maybe that's an issue there too. I think that's it. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Shagundina. Please, as we round up, now I just want to take another dimension very quickly in the next 5 minutes, then we can conclude this session. Please, may I ask, how many of us here said you have a class of more than 200 students, for example? Can I please see your hands up? I've seen 1, 2. You are managing a class of more than 200 students. I'm very pleased. I'm just going to come to you, please. I see Professor Obangwe here. Ma, could you please just give us an idea? How have you been deploying blended learning method, to handle your class? We are here to solve problems. That is the sole purpose of this, So at the end of the day, we should all go back, everyone, better from what we used to be. So, yes, ma'am.
Well, I teach AFE 202, which is actually a practical-based course. So apart from taking them in class, I take them to the field, so they practicalize whatever they have been taught in class. And beyond that, I also encourage them to go home and do the same. So some of them will get back to me that they have set up a poultry and they are managing their birds. When they have issues, they snap and send to me. This is what is happening. Then I encourage them, this is what to do, this is how to go about it. So that's been my method.
So still the conventional method, ma? Is it still conventional or is now blended? Okay? But the blending this time around is leveraging on technology. So we want to, yes. So what we want to get at the end of the day, ma, is how will technology ensure that, yes, that your work now becomes much easier and much more effective, such that at the end of the day, students have now gone back home, much more better than they will be without the without engagement with with technology. You still want to say more to that, ma? Okay, I know Professor Ogumefun has more than 1,000 students. Ma, perhaps you want to share your experience with us.
Well, it's a bit difficult in 100 level class because of the peculiarity of that kind of a class, because they are in different groups, like 4 groups, and we are on our toes. We have a time limit to finish up with a group and move to another group, like 4 classes, move around. So, because of the peculiarity of that class, I'll tell you, for now, I'm using the conventional method. They ask questions. I make the class lively. I throw jokes sometimes to make it lively, but mostly I use the conventional method because I'm on my toes to finish those aspects, like the prof that took us on that lecture said, to finish up with the aspect so as to move to the next class and not to, encroach on another person's time. But something will be worked out about that now.
Thank you very much, ma. Is there anyone that is already employing that method, a blended method now with technology? I just want to know if there is anyone. Yes, ma. Now I have a computer scientist, a guru in computer. Thank you so much, ma.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I have a class, 200 level class. So what I did for them is, it's a more or less like a programming class. And in that programming, we have subsections. So what we did in the class is that we divided them into like 6 hubs, programming hubs. So we now created a WhatsApp platform, and we designed a Google form. So we designed that Google form in such a way that those people in each of those areas that we specified, the people that are beginners, that they have no idea, they will specify, the intermediary and the professionals. So in that small hub, what I did is that with the help of the 2 course reps was that the people at the professional level, they are going to be having meetings on their own without me. And they are going to be working on those areas that we've divided them into. And they give me feedback about it just for them to be more effective, to understand the course more and to be more effective. So far, that's just what has been done. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Prof. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. What I want to say, the way to make technology make teaching easy for you, like most of us who do some lectures that are spiritual. You know what I mean, spiritual. There are some things you are explaining now, maybe in terms of mechatronics, power systems, control systems. At times, these things are like spiritual things. When you are talking to this student, you don't get to understand. So you can actually prepare a very short clip, you know? And we thank God Abuad is developed to an extent. We use projectors. We have those amenities. We should use it. You know, you don't walk into the class, all your classes you use just hard copy notes to teach. You should develop a solid PowerPoint, which they will have as a note to lecture. And at times you can put some simulation videos. You simulate what you are trying to do, what you are trying to explain to them. So when they see that simulation process, it sticks faster in their head because we are in the computer age. We are in the computer age. So this is the way you can bring this technology to make your teaching very easy. So when you're not explaining, you say, yes, ma'am, okay, we can see it, oh, we can do this. So even when you try to lecture internationally, they will ask you, what are your lecture aids? What do you involve in your lecturing? This is just what we are talking about. Bring simulation, put in your PowerPoint, explain with them, and with that, it's very, very easy. If you are working on machines, you can do a small video on machines. Even when I was teaching thermal power and propulsive system, most people have not visited the power station before where they generate electricity. So we'll just bring some clips, show you, see how this power is generated, and start explaining the mechanism behind this generation of powers. So you understand the nitty-gritty of what you are trying to learn. From there, you'll be able to break down all the mathematical calculations and expressions easily. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my distinguished prof. Well, on this note, if there is no other contribution or questions, I will want us all to please appreciate our resource person, Mr. Shegundina of the Directorate of ICT. Thank you very much for that wonderful presentation, your responses to the questions. Thank you so much. Okay, you have one more thing to tell us. Okay, just 30 seconds, sir, please, sir.
So, very briefly, I just want to encourage us. Now, we are moving into era of technology. The thing is that it's never going to be easy at the start. There's nothing that you start that is easy from at the beginning. The Microsoft Word we all use now was not easy. The whole computer, before you were not a programmer, you couldn't operate a computer. Anybody can do that now. So it's not going to be easier at the beginning, but we can always collaborate and make it better. When we started with the Porter, it was difficult, and people were like, oh, you should not use it, blah, blah, blah. And now the Porter is working effectively. When we started, I remember the course registration online. The first semester was, but with input from lecturers, HODs, provost, we have lesser problems now. Now, the result computation, the issues we're having now, we'll be solving those issues one by one, and it's still going to be fine. By the time we're integrating other systems, it may not be as easy as we thought at the first, but what I know is that it gets easier as we continue to use. Thank you very much.
All right, sir, thank you so much, sir. Please let us make that applause louder, please. We appreciate you so much, Mr. Shegundina. Thank you very much for being of great resource to us all. today. We really appreciate you. So on this note, let me say that we have officially come to the end of this session. But however, I've been told to announce to us that tomorrow's session will start by 8:50. Tomorrow's session. Yes. Even though I've just been informed by the members of the LOC committee that tomorrow's session is going to start by 8:50. Even though tomorrow is a public holiday, it is officially a public holiday for ABUAD. All of the students, there is no lectures. Of course, students are free to do whatsoever they want to do tomorrow. All right. However, for the purpose of this program, we are going to be gathered there tomorrow by 8:50. And I'm also told to also let us know that tomorrow's session will be ending by 12 by noon. So we'll finish early enough tomorrow so that it can indeed be a good Friday. Indeed. So on this note, I wish us all a very wonderful evening. Thank you very much. Easter food? No, we are going to take that at our respective houses. Yeah.